Let's transition to college basketball, in particular women's college basketball, which is absolutely these days a significantly better product than the men's game. They're better shooters, they're better floor spacers, better shot takers, creators, and makers than the men. And it's a better overall product. By the way, there's more scoring, and that's always good. And the face of women's college basketball, the face of college basketball. Arguably the face, you could argue Simone Biles. I'd probably put Simone number one. But you could argue the face of women's sports right now is Caitlin Clark, who last night became the all-time scoring leader in the history of women's college basketball. And here's the record breaker.
Recovered by Gabby Marshall. Here comes Clark. How will she go for history? There it is! The all-time leading scorer in women's college basketball.
It's no surprise. Of course, she broke it from the parking lot. Shooting from the parking lot. That's become her brand. That's become who she is and what she's about. And by the way, last night, she was absolutely extraordinary against the Michigan Wolverines. Caitlin Clark in that record-breaking game. The pressure was not too much for her because it never is. Caitlin dropped 49, 13, and 5 on 16 of 31 from the field, 9 for 18 from three-point range. She is simply box office, and she is sensational in every sense of the word. And she is one of the 5 most entertaining basketball players on planet Earth right now. I don't think it's even debatable. I think there's 5 players. If you had to give me 5 players, men's or women's, take college basketball, take overseas, take NBA, WNBA, take all of them. Give me 5 of the most entertaining players in the league. I've got 5. LeBron, Steph, KD, Wemby, Caitlin Clark. Because Wemby, you saw he had the triple-double, a 10 block tonight. Wemby is just, it's crazy. It's crazy what Wemby can do with the basketball. The Spurs are awful. They're a bad basketball team, but you got to tune in to League Pass or NBA TV, TNT, whatever network they're on, and watch to see what is this 20-year-old French guy who can do everything. What's he going to do tonight? He is box office. Kevin Durant is a 7-footer who moves like a guard and can get any shot that he wants, and is still an elite defensive player. Unbelievable. Most gifted, not the greatest scorer I've ever seen, or even the best, but the most gifted I've ever seen is Kevin Wayne Durant. LeBron James, jack of all trades, and that's disrespectful to be completely honest to LeBron. All-time leading scorer, can get his teammates involved, active on the glass, still a very good defensive player in spurts in year 21. LeBron still moves the needle. You got to tune in the Lakers games. What's he going to do tonight? Steph Curry, pretty self-explanatory, the closest comparison to Caitlin Clark that we have in the NBA and in the men's game in general. There's a lot of stuff, the handle, the shooting ability from way outside, and Caitlin Clark. She has brought an audience into women's college basketball. She has done something that I didn't think was possible. We all view the National Football League as the pinnacle. Nobody's touching the NFL in ratings, and that's true. I've always kind of viewed the NBA second. I'm like, the NBA is never going to touch the NFL, but I don't feel like any other league is necessarily, out March Madness aside, going to touch the NBA. Hockey sure isn't. Baseball sure isn't. College football, sure, but I look at the college football in some ways as like minor league NFL. It kind of feels that way. But Caitlin Clark's game, Iowa Hawkeyes, a couple weeks ago, ratings-wise, on a Sunday, beat the Heat Celtics game ratings. Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler, I don't know if Jimmy played in that game. Bam Adebayo, Heat culture, Boston, Tatum, Brown, Porzingis, Drew Holiday, great history. Iowa beat that game in terms of ratings. Because we got to tune in to see, as great as Boston and Miami are, we got to see Caitlin Clark. What's she going to do tonight? Caitlin, by the way, this year, no surprise whatsoever, her stats are absolutely off the chart. She's averaging 32 a game with about 7 rebounds, 8.5 assists. She's shooting 47.5% from the field, and almost just a 0.1% away, shooting 39.9% from 3. And keep in mind, she's doing this while shooting at moonballs. And this was Caitlin Clark, by the way, after the game, talking about her record breaker.
Yeah, I don't know if you can really script it any better, and I thought we played really well tonight, and that our defense could have been a little better, but just to do it in this fashion, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful to be surrounded by so many people that have kind of been my foundation and everything that I've done since I was a young little girl, and I started crying when watching that video just because like I'm just filled with so much gratitude and love, and the way these fans support women's basketball is so special. And yeah, I mean, you all knew I was going to shoot a logo 3 for the record. Come on now.
Love the confidence. That's what she plays, with the bravado. She plays with a flair, and she plays within the construct of basketball that we've become used to within the last decade, really since Steph changed the game. She has taken advantage of that with her hard work, with her God-given ability, and she's absolutely fantastic. And I think that she is going to be, for women's basketball, what, I mean, you could say Serena was for women's tennis, what Simone Biles has been for gymnastics. She is going to bring a different audience in to, by the way, what the United States women's team has been for women's soccer. I think when she comes the WNBA next year, and I believe the Indiana Fever had the first pick in the draft, so it appears she's going to stay kind of middle of the country, Big Ten sort of area. She's going to go there. She's going to team up with Leah Boston, who played, by the way, with South Carolina, had a really good rookie season. She's going to team up with her, and she is going to be the face of the NBA almost instantly. I think it was at Cheryl. I hope I'm not misquoting. I think it was Cheryl Swoops, who I heard talking to podcasts like, hey, it's going to be an adjustment. Like, let's not. I get that, but this style of basketball translates to any era. It translates to any league. She's brought in a new audience to women's college basketball that probably wasn't there originally. And I don't know if I was going to win it all. LSU is still good. South Carolina is still awesome. And there's a lot of other great basketball teams out there this year. Women's basketball games this year. March Madness is going to be insane. And I'm pretty sure Caitlin Clark is going to absolutely dominate it, because that's who she is. And she is absolutely one of the 5 most entertaining basketball players, men's, women's, college, pro, overseas, in the world right now. She's a showstopper. You got to see her live, in person. Yeah, I mean, these road arenas are sold out. We don't see that unless it's like the old Tennessee Go Vols. Rest in peace, Pat Summit. Shout out to her. God rest her soul. Unless it was those old Tennessee teams or those old UConn teams. Those were teams, though. Those were superstar coaches. Those were players that went on to the WNBA and having great success. This is one player. Iowa's not viewed as a women's college basketball powerhouse the way that Tennessee was, the way UConn kind of still is, the way Stanford's been, South Carolina's been, LSU is kind of becoming. She's done that. So shout out to her. Well-deserved. One of the 5 most entertaining basketball players on planet Earth right now, and in short order will be the face of the WNBA. And I think, give it a couple of years, the best player in the WNBA. Couple of years. She's not going to be the best player rookie year. You still got, obviously, Asia Wilson, Brianna Stewart, Sabrina Ionescu. I mean, we'll talk about it a little later. She's competing with Steph Curry. There's some great players in the WNBA. She is unbelievable. Shout out to Caitlin Clark. Another outstanding accomplishment, and many more to come. By the way, she was wearing Kobe's when she broke the record. I believe she wears Kobe's every game, but it's fitting. Thanks so much for watching the show on YouTube, and be sure to go click that big red subscribe button and check out the other clips and full shows from Carving It Up Live, as well as our other incredible content creators here on the Grid Network.